Shalom Aleichem, everybody. Hope all is going well. Today we're going to be speaking about the prophecy of Moshe Rabbeinu and the coming of Moshiach. Moshe Rabbeinu was a very, very humble man, to say the least. More humble than anyone who walked the face of the earth. And Moshe Rabbeinu, Moses, very special person, very wise person, very strong person. He has many different incredible character traits. And yet, the character trait that Hashem was most impressed by Moshe Rabbeinu, the character trait of Moshe Rabbeinu that impressed Hashem most, was his quality of humility. So Moshe Rabbeinu, we know Moshe Rabbeinu to be intelligent, to be wise, to be caring, to be loving. But his greatest quality was his humility. Moshe, he knew he was great because he was realistic. He knew his greatness. But he always said to himself, everything that I have that is great has been given to me by Hashem. And maybe if someone else had my great qualities, they would do better than me. So he was always humble, and he never saw himself as greater than others. And that's why he was such a tremendous keli, vessel for Hashem's light. Meaning, he was so humble, so he was in such a great position to receive prophecy from Hashem. Because as you know, Hashem is beyond all of us. He's the greatest, to say the least. So, as great as one is, they always have to humble themselves before Hashem, because no matter how much we know, Hashem is always beyond, infinitely above whatever specific level we may be at. So Moshe was at such a high level, he was so humble because he recognized whatever he does know is just a little drop in the beyond infinite ocean of Torah, of knowledge there is to know about Hashem, and even levels beyond knowledge, beyond grasp, to say the least. So Moshe was a great vessel for Hashem's light because of his humility. And we see that at Mount Sinai, where Hashem revealed himself to the entire Jewish nation, the Jewish people, as soon as Hashem said the commandments, their souls left their body, and they died for a moment, and Hashem had to put their souls back in their body because the revelation of God was so overwhelming that their bodies couldn't handle it. But Moses was so humble, so holy, so refined. He was so egoless, meaning he had no ego. He didn't see himself as anything. He saw his entire existence as being part of Hashem, as being from Hashem. So therefore, when Hashem revealed himself to Moshe didn't die because he was already so refined that his body was able to handle it. He was always living in a state of oneness with Hashem. So unification. So when Hashem revealed himself at Mount Sinai, for Moses, that was something that he was able to not only just handle, but that was the way he lived reality. That was his conscious reality. Whereas the Jewish nation, this was such a new development, this revelation of God speaking directly to them. It was such an overwhelming reality that the Jewish people, that their neshamas, their souls left their body, and Hashem had to put it back in because their bodies weren't refined enough to handle it yet. It's interesting because Moshe, though, the level that in the prophecy that Moshe has with Hashem, he was the prophet who had the highest level of prophecy. It says no person spoke face to face to Hashem the way Moshe did. But there's a level that Hashem's actual, so to speak, innermost part, so to speak. Obviously Hashem is one and there's no parts to Hashem, but as it were, Moshe only saw a glimpse of Hashem. The level, even the highest level of prophecy where Moshe reached, which is called Hashem's. He asked Hashem to see his face. Moshe said to Hashem, "Hashem, please show me your face. Ereli panecha, show me your face." Moshe wanted to see Hashem, wanted to see reality the way Hashem sees it. Basically, when Moshe is saying, "Hashem, show me your face," he's asking Hashem to show him the reality in which the way Hashem views reality, to see things from Hashem's perspective. And Hashem said, "I can't show you my face because a person can't see my face live, but I will show you my achoraim, my hind side." So Moshe saw the hind side of Hashem, meaning he glimpsed at Hashem's face. He saw things from a little glimpse at the way Hashem sees reality, but nonetheless it was just a glimpse. But we say that in the days of Moshiach, in the era of the resurrection of the dead, we will experience this. We will experience seeing the revelation of Hashem's face, Hashem's innermost part, seeing reality the way Hashem sees it, so to speak. That's the way we're going to experience things in the days of Moshiach, in the era of resurrection. And this is also that I've spoken about in previous videos. This is spoken about at great length by the Rebbe Rashab in his Maimarim, where the Rebbe Rashab speaks about the beautiful concept that there's the Garden of Eden, Gan Eden. That there's two levels there. There's the garden and Eden. And Eden is the lower level, the garden is the lower level, and Eden is the higher level that flows into the garden. Meaning, through the Garden of Eden, in the garden, you glimpse at this at this level of Eden. In the garden, they glimpse at the level of Eden. But Eden, the level of Eden, is a level higher than the garden that comes into the garden. But Eden itself, the level of Eden as it is above the garden, is a much higher level. These are connected to Chokhmah and Bina. Chokhmah is the first flash of intellect you get, and Bina is the understanding you get when you take that flash of that idea and you break it down into details. So the garden is like the details being broken down, and coming into that is the Eden itself, which is like the Chokhmah, the flashing into the understanding. But really, when you look, the Rebbe Shab explains that when you go deeper into this level of Eden, what is it? When you go deep into the innermost part of that spiritual flash, so to speak, is the pleasure Hashem experiences. Why? Because a person, what does a person think about? What's the source of a person's thought? Is what causes him pleasure. And the way he has pleasure in something is going to, and also that's connected to the level of ratzon, which is will, something you want to do. That's high. When you want something, it's higher than logic. But when you want something, it affects the way you logically see things. For example, let's say a person loves their child. So their love for their child, their will that they have, their desire they have for their child to be a good parent to them, which is above logic, it channels the way what they're going to think about. It channels what their thoughts are going to be about. So since they love their child, what are they going to be thinking about? They're going to be thinking about how to help their child. Oh, my child needs new clothing. My child needs to go get some vitamins, or whatever it may be. So what's the innermost part of this level of Eden, which is connected to the flash of the thought, is the desire and the pleasure. So now when we look, to tie this all together, now when we look into the world, we see Hashem says, I want you to do this, I want you to do that, and we have trouble feeling, sometimes grasping what it is Hashem wants from us. Why does He want us to do all these mitzvahs? Like, meaning our limited logic can't always appreciate it. But when we look deeper, we realize, wait, it's not just Hashem wants me to do it. This is Hashem's greatest pleasure when we do these fulfill His commandments. And not only that, since I'm made by Hashem and I'm one with Hashem and I'm a spark of Hashem, so it's my greatest pleasure too to do these mitzvahs. And when we really focus on that, we meditate on that idea, and we don't just think about it quickly, but we delve into it and realize, wait, when I do a mitzvah, this is Hashem's greatest pleasure. We do that, we tap into this level of Eden. We tap into Hashem's pleasure. And that's the level. Moshe Rabbeinu couldn't even see that level yet, and he's the highest prophet, and even Moshe Rabbeinu wasn't able to see that level that we will experience in the days of Mashiach, the resurrection of the dead, may it be today, that we're saying that Hashem said to Moshe, you cannot see my face, but you can see my hindside. What's the level of the face? The inner pleasure Hashem experiences with us following His mitzvahs. And that is what we're going to experience in the days of Mashiach. We're going to see Hashem's face, so to speak, which means we will get to experience things in the way Hashem experienced things, as it were. We're going to appreciate serving Hashem the way Hashem appreciates it. May it be today. Thinking about this idea gets us very excited to recognize what is really going on here, the magnitude of what is happening, that we've been put on a mission to bring upon the days of Mashiach. We're so fortunate to be born in this generation where it's clear that things are coming together. May Hashem bless us all to succeed and experience this level of Eden itself, to experience Hashem, to rejoice with Hashem at Hashem's revelation to the world. God bless you all.